Thank you, Karthik, for the nice introduction about me. It's really a very honored and excited today to share with you all guys about the application engineering group, an interesting initiative. A lot of people together from industries and universities together. We came together to. We thought it's very important to have an engineering group like this. So in this whole short sharing, I would like to share a little bit about what is this, reusable components. What is the use of these reusable components? Why we need a community like this, and what is the advantages? How it is going to change the world? As developers across the globe, what is the need of this kind of a community? And I also want to share all of you to encourage all the developers and tech experts who are there in this meeting today, how a lot of developers across the globe are already trying to build a lot of reusable components and using them to build creative applications, and also what is motivating them, and what is the vision we have created this kind of a community, what we want to do next 1 year and coming few years down the line. Just to give an introduction about what is a reusable component today in the world, a lot of people either in industry or in open source community, people are trying to reuse a lot of source code from the existing projects. A lot of components which can be reused in their projects to make their products much more faster and high quality products. Just to give a very rough data, I have looked at a lot of big organizations saving 40 to 50% of their productivity, increasing their productivity. It's not just the productivity, but they are also able to reduce their time to market. Similarly, when it comes to an open source community development, are a lot of young students or entrepreneurs, they want to build their applications and solutions. What they need to do is also that they can reuse a lot of source code which is already available in the open source community, reuse them to reduce their time to market. Here I have simple data shown you when a systematic way reusable components are built, it can help the real development by more than 40 to 80%, which saves a lot of effort and a lot of quality to the product. So why these reusable components are very important? So most importantly, just now as I shared, efficiency is very important. So it can save a lot of effort either for the developer and more focus on what he really need to build. So today, if you see a lot of activities like login, connecting to the server, or authentication, a lot of these components or a lot of graphical effects can be built as a reusable components, and these components can be used in different applications. Other than the efficiency, the consistency of experience. A new developer or a new individual or an organization want to build a solution. If they want to create a similar experience which is there in the market, people are being used to it. So instead of they again reinventing it, they can just pick the components which are popular in the common community and use them, so that it gives a same and similar experience what users are already experiencing in other apps. That's also another big advantage. And also because these reusable components are already used by hundreds of apps in the market, they have been well tested, or probably a lot of cases, user related cases which you and me cannot think, would have been already thought and fixed in these open source components. Obviously, most importantly, finally, when we want to deliver our own product, so the testing can only limit to what new functionality we added, and all the functionality we imported from the reusable components can be mostly reused, and testing effort can be greatly reduced. Just to give you a statistics how the world is going today, I just want to look at the popular platforms like iOS and Android in last decade, how lot of components are created in the ecosystem, and these components are getting used by a lot of application developers. So this shows you the CocoaPads. CocoaPad is a uh, iOS libraries which are developed by a lot of application developers across the globe. I got information in something like that 81K libraries are available which are very useful, and these 81K libraries has been used by more than 3 million apps across the globe. This data shows that it's a very tremendous usage of these application components are there across the globe. So that is why it is very important that as a developers we should know these components, which components to use for my applications. At the same time, we also need to put a lot of effort as a community to make these kind of libraries available for all the platforms, so that developers can make use of these libraries and continue and reduce their effort and improve their quality. I also try to project based on the last 5 years of growth. In next 5 years, how these reusable components going to scale up. Now you can see here more than 280K of reusable components only for iOS are going to be created in next few years. Similarly, for Android applications also, there are huge number of components has been created and getting used by a lot of developers across the globe. I can show you that at 2020, approximately 29K of reusable components are there, which are used by many other developers across the globe, which is expected to grow beyond 100K, okay, in next few years. So this statistical data shows that it is quite important to have an organized system to maintain these kind of reusable components, which helps a lot of developers across the globe and the organization. Just to look at some interesting surveys which has been done across the developer community, why people are trying to reuse. Generally, this kind of reuse, a systematic way of reuse, is happening in the industries, in the corporate world. But corporate world may be investing a lot of money in open source world. It is very important to see that is this kind of reusable behavior. Are developers taking a lot of code from the existing open source code and trying to reduce their development efforts? Is been very good. So this is one interesting survey done by a company which shows that people says that they could develop 92% faster their projects and goals because they're using a lot of code from the open community. And also, it's not just that using our developers spend their time on most important tasks. 91% of the people, they claim that they could focus only on their work, and then they can use a lot of common behavior which is there in any application today. If you take any application, sports application or health application or e-commerce application, you can say 80% of the behavior is same. So you could reuse a lot of components and only you create your innovation or your advantage you want to bring in your solution. So just to give you a little more perspective here, when you look at the number of open source contributors in the globe, you have more than 5 million developers who are contributing to the open source application development, right? Basically, mobile application development. Out of 5 million mobile application developers, approximately a million developers are spending their quality time on creating reusable components. Why I want to stress this is that even people are developing their own application, their own solution to make the people living better. They are also equally spending a lot of effort in creating these kind of components so that these components can be used by them or it can also be used by other people. So here I can see that how these people, who are these people who are creating these kind of components. See, most of the people are full-time employed people. Still, they are spending a lot of their good time in creating very important, useful components, so that these are useful for them and also for the bigger community. So I also looked at the geography of developers, where these developers coming from. Obviously, as we all know that, so United States leading obviously, but India is also growing very fast in open source community and open source contribution last few years. So here I can see that India has a very big potential. So that's where we got an idea that India has a big IT ecosystem. India has a lot of universities, a lot of young youth is coming out into the market every year. We felt that Indian potential can be used together to build more better useful components which can be useful to the entire development world across the globe. So that is where all the companies, interesting companies like L&T, Wipro, Huawei, a lot of IITs and other universities have come together to take this initiative further, so that this group of community can create a lot of useful components to the coming world. Just to give you a very brief idea on why people are doing it, what is the intention? It's not just I'm doing for somebody else. Interestingly, the Linux Foundation has done a survey. So it was very evident that people love to enjoy learning in this kind of community, especially when they're writing this kind of reusable components and open source components. They are trying to add a lot of piece of code which they can use and also can share with other people. So that's what I say, they have a peer encouragement where people together can work together in this open source community and develop a lot of new reusable components. So I do believe that all the students, all the tech experts who have joined today in this session also have similar kind of a motivation and encouragement to work together for a great initiative like this, so that we can really make a big difference in next 1 decade to create a lot of reusable components which can be used by millions of developers to create a creative and innovative world for all of us. And just want to give you, maybe a lot of people thinking, already I shared, there are thousands of reusable components already available. Why a community, something like this is required? I'm sure everybody who is there in this call should be having this kind of a question. So I thought, I'll clarify a few points to all of you guys. Most importantly, these reusable components are there, but they are very distributed. Okay, and they are not properly organized. And also for a one functionality A, there are so many reusable components, and developers really don't know which component is best for them. This is the first important problem today exists. And second most important problem is that these components are not, configurable. They are not customizable, because these components would have been done by an individual person. So this person would not have thought of a lot of customization, so that many more developers can use this, a reusable component. And also a lot of these components, maybe sometimes they're available for iOS, sometimes some are available for Android, or some are available for HMOS, but maybe there's some important functionality which is not available for all the platforms. Today we can see the lot of mobile connected platforms are growing very bigger and bigger. So we believe that a community is needed, who the community can focus on very systematically, like a corporate world can build these reusable components and organize them and give them a proper structure, and also maintain them structurally, so that these components can be useful to many more developers. More importantly, when a developer is using these reusable components, there is no support for him, because there is no unique community. So I have to find an individual guy who has developed this reusable component. But when we have a community like this, so we can work together and support together, so that many developers can take good advantage of these components. With that thought process, when we thought this is a very interesting idea to bring a lot of, people together and create a synergic team who can really work together for a same one vision. So we thought we can create a world's innovative open collaboration platform to build a lot of reusable application components. This component not just a piece of code, but from the design to the deployment, components can be created. And also a lot of application templates which can also be showing how these reusable components can be used to create your application more faster. A lot of usable components are there, but how these components can be used together to build my application more faster in multiple platforms. If I write an application today, I have to write application for all the platforms, right? I cannot skip one platform, because users are there in every platform today. With that vision, we have come up with this interesting initiative. So this initiative, we have worked together, a lot of, a big MNCs, Wipro. I want to thank all the people who have shown a lot of interest together and put a lot of effort last few weeks to bring this initiative together to the start stage. So here Wipro, Huawei, L&T, Click to Cloud, and also a lot of, already open communities like Girl Script community, open source community, and also a lot of universities from India. We are all together today to launch this event, a bigger community to be formed in next few years, a stronger community to build a very strong reusable and high quality components which can be more customizable. With this thought process, we are all together. We are going to bring many more partners, many more universities, and many more, MNCs into this group, so that this is really a very strong organization, strong community who can really build high quality product components. So we have also come up with a very high level structure. So this structure is, we will have a very high level governing body composed of all the people who are shown interest and joined as a founding members here and keep growing. And also we will have an exclusive technical expert panels, Android, iOS, HMOS, Flutter, so that all these technical panels can support all the developers in the community for them to develop and use these components and application templates very effectively. So here is the high level R&R. I don't want to go through this, but this is how we are going to organize this community. So I want a lot of people who have joined newly first time, wish to join us, this community, and we can guarantee that, because a lot of industry experts are part of this community and open source experts are part of this community now. We can guide all the students or the experts, and we can work together as one team to build a great reusable components. So we also put a very high level roadmap for this 1 year. So we are going to, all the reusable components are already there. We are going to analyze them and structure them and provide a structural information so that they can be continued to be maintained and enhanced. And also we are going to build a lot of reusable components which are common and important for the basic application development in next few months. And then over a period of this year, we will make sure that every team is focusing on different domains: e-commerce, sports, IoT, chat, health, and communication, so that the components are available and good for all the people who are going to use these components and willing to work in any specific domain they are wish to. This is a high level roadmap. With that, I have come to my last slide of sharing. Thank you so much for listening. I'm really excited to have this kind of a community. I wish that all the people who have joined today will continue to work with us as a strong team and support this community, so that we all can build a great open community from India for the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valluri. That was a great speech. You have emphasized on the need for this community. I'm sure that everyone now understands the breadth of this initiative from the analysis that you have shared. And I hope everyone will start contributing to this open source initiative.
Hey.